Good evening. My name is Peter Leo, and I am proud to be the artistic director for Carolina Voices as we present this evening's program. For 66 years, Carolina Voices has brought to Charlotte, North Carolina, a holiday tradition which represents the country's longest-running production of the Singing Christmas Tree. Over the years, a few snow and ice storms have threatened the production, but as the old adage says, the show must go on, and we've always found a way to take stage and bring a joyful measure of Christmas to our community. We've been determined this year that no pandemic could end this tradition. Certainly, this is a different Singing Christmas Tree, and one we'll always remember. So, tonight is our premiere performance. And with that, I want to invite you to stick around after the credits have rolled for a backstage unique behind-the-scenes conversation. It will be with some of our key production players and provide an opportunity for Q&A with you, our audience. And this will happen right after the show. Before the show begins, I need to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors whose support truly has made this production possible. American Security Mortgage, Allen Tate Realtors, and the Arts and Science Council. Please help us in thanking these sponsors by supporting their business whenever possible. All right, it's time to sit back and get cozy because you don't want to miss a second of this. Don't even think about pressing the pause. After all, you don't want to end up on Santa's naughty list. Now, from our homes to yours, as Carolina Voices wishes you a very Merry Christmas, on with the show.
Here we come a-caroling with songs of Christmas cheer to celebrate the season. Love and joy come to you, and a Merry Christmas too. And God bless you and send you a Happy New Year. And God bless you, Christmas is here. Joyful and welcome, for the come. Jesus has come. Come, tell the world he's come. Jesus has come. Come, tell the world he's come. Jesus has come. God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day. To save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, 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 joy. The Lord is come. Joy, joy, joy. He has come. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. On the bells, makes the bells go to say. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, hey, joy, joy, joy. Hey, Israel, make your day. Joy, joy, joy. Forever and ever. Joy to the world, for he has come. Joy, joy, joy. Just hear the sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the show.
We're riding in a wonderland of
Wonderland of
snow.
snow. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, it's grand. Just holding your hand.
We're riding along with a song of a wintry fairyland. Marching sunrises and pumpkin to your feet. It's not all that together would be. Just sing a room before us and sing
Let's take us out jumping for us and sing our choruses too. Sleigh ride together with you. There's a birthday party at the home of Farmer Gray. It'll be the perfect ending of a perfect day. We'll be singing the songs we love to sing without a single stop.
And fireplace while we watch the chestnuts pop.
There's a happy feeling nothing in the world can buy. When they pass around the coffee and the pumpkin pie, it'll really be like a picture print by Courier and Ives. These wonderful things are the things we remember all through our lives. These wonderful things are the things we remember all through our lives.
Just hear the sleigh bells
even more than I usually do. And I know it's all back. I promise you.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. If only in my dreams. Only in my dreams.
Season's greetings from Caroline Voices as we present to you in virtual form the 66th annual Singing Christmas Tree. While we regret we are unable to present this production to you live in person as we have for so many years, we are grateful for the technology that provides this medium, allowing you to invite us into your home. Home for the holidays is appropriately our theme for this year's production that has just begun. Imagine, if you will, this production representing the many and colorful ornaments that adorn the Christmas trees we decorate in our homes. As has become tradition, each year we hang a combination of those great classics passed down from generation to generation, along with some of the newer ornaments that we've received from friends and family. You'll certainly hear the familiar, and in a few cases, some with a new twist. All of them treasures. You've already been introduced to the singers of our main stage choir who form the Singing Christmas Tree each year, as well as two key collaborators, the angelic tones of our Carolina Kids Voices and the remarkable dancers of the Miller Street Dance Academy. And you'll be seeing more from both of them, along with other familiar collaborators. Speaking of which, the internationally acclaimed Gray Seal Puppets have partnered with the Singing Christmas Tree for decades. Let's meet one of them now.
Hello, everyone. Your old buddy Tenor here, and I'm loving this virtual performance of the Singing Christmas Tree. It's so warm and fuzzy and Christmassy, it's better than a belly rub. I'm feeling a bit nostalgic, too, despite being presented a bit differently this year. This is the 66th annual Singing Christmas Tree. Wow, that's a lot of singing. Back in the early years of the tree, you certainly didn't have iTunes or Spotify to pull up any piece of music you wanted. No, you had a jukebox. Jukeboxes are so awesome. I can still hear the quarters sliding down the slot and that 45 slapping into place. Cool, man. Speaking of cool, there's nobody cooler than the awesome Carolina kids' voices. Here they are, laying down the groove with some Jingle Bell jukebox for y'all. Yeah.
Christmas is coming and the time is right. Celebrate the season, make spirits bright. It's time to start the party, let the music play. 'Cause everybody's gonna have a happy holiday around the jukebox. The Jingle Bell jukebox. Put a quarter in and let the Christmas spirit begin. Everyone here has got a favorite song, so gather around the jukebox and sing along. Just put your money in to make the vinyl spin. We hear that Christmas music now, let the fun begin around the jukebox. The Jingle Bell jukebox. Put a quarter in and let the Christmas spirit begin. We're singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Winter Wonderland, rocking around the Christmas tree, and some other ones that we planned. The Jingle Bell jukebox plays a rocking beat, so find yourself a partner and get on your feet. Everybody Lindy hop, jump and jive, and shimmy shake together, bring the holidays alive around the jukebox. The Jingle Bell jukebox. Put a quarter in and let the Christmas spirit begin. Put a quarter in and let the Christmas spirit begin. Yeah!
Oh, wow, Bree. I have to tell you, this feels weird. I mean, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's singing Christmas tree time, but we're not popping out of our present box like we always do.
Well, Roquefort, I'm sure you've noticed that a lot of things are different this year.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's not the usual mayhem, chaos, and bedlam backstage. I mean, there's no backstage, period.
Exactly. That's because we're virtual.
We're who?
We're virtual. The Singing Christmas Tree is being presented virtually this year. It's the only Christmas concert in town happening this way. It's so exciting.
Wow! A performance in the cosmos. That's almost as exciting as ordering a cheese basket from Hickory Farms on Amazon. Hey, I wonder if this means now that it's virtual, they can run the whole tree performance through an auto tuner, and for once they'll be on key.
Oh, Roquefort, that's not nice, and you know that's not true either. You love the tree. And get rid of that cheese, for heaven's sake.
Oh, I can't, Bree. It's hot glued to my hand.
I think that even virtually, Christmas is my favorite time of year.
You know, you're right. I know my favorite thing about Christmas time.
What's that?
Spirit.
Spirit?
Mm-hmm. The spirit of Christmas and the spirit of the singing Christmas tree.
Okay, who are you and what have you done with Roquefort?
I mean, I was just thinking about it, Bree. These singers, how amazing. Having to rehearse from home, not being together, must have been so hard. I mean, this is a choir for Pete Leo's sake. The very word choir means togetherness, and yet the singers had to record voices in their own homes. That's no easy task.
You're right, Roquefort. But regardless of all that hardship, it's still there. You still see it, and you can still hear it.
Still hear it? Well, I know you're not talking about perfect pitch then.
No, silly. I'm talking about joy. Pure joy. Christmas joy. The tree singers just wouldn't give up. And you can see that joy in their faces. And you can hear it in their voices. It's the best feeling ever.
You're right. This program is filled with joy, and there's no better feeling than that.
Merry Christmas, Roquefort.
Merry Christmas, Bree. Hey, speaking of joy, since we're in a virtual world right now, we can do whatever we want, right?
I mean, I guess so.
Well, let's go dashing through a mountain of Parmigiano Reggiano.
Maybe not.
Let's go dashing through Costco for some free cheese samples.
Oh, no, they're not doing that right now.
Oh, rats.
Hey, how about this? Since we're virtual, why don't we go dashing through the snow?
Don't be ridiculous, Bree.
Oh, no, dashing through the snow? And let's go in a one-horse open sleigh.
Well, could we at least take a box of Cheez-Its?
Come on, Roquefort. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, and a happy Gruyere. Wow, this is so cool.
This is fun.
Pass the Cheez-Its, please.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha ha! Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight! Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Show the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Jolly old Saint Nicholas, sing your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon, now you dear old man. Whisper what you'll bring to me, tell me if you can. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The horses away to carry the sleigh through white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the woods, so how the wind does blow. It sings and tolls and bites and knows as over the ground we go. Up on the housetop, reindeer paws, out just good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with the singing.
Hold up. Something's missing from all this.
The alto section.
No, silly. Something essential to Christmas.
Oh, figgy pudding?
No, Roquefort.
I mean, I'm just spitballing here. You're not giving me much to go on. We're in the middle of a medley.
Every singing Christmas tree, virtual or not, needs a visit from Santa Claus.
Oh my gosh, you're right, Bree. We have to check in with the big guy. I need to know if he's checked my list twice or not.
He checks his list twice, not yours.
Oh.
But since this is a virtual world, anything's possible.
You're right. Hello out there in the cosmos. Kris Kringle, are you there?
Oh my goodness.
Holy cheese puff. Life in a virtual world is a breeze. It's Santa!
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. This is a busy time for sure, but I always have time to pop in and see the singing Christmas tree is doing. Wow, you have such virtuosity, even in a virtual world. And I'm always glad to see you too, Roquefort and Bree.
Hey, Santa! Did you get my list? Supersized cheese basket from Hickory Farms?
I sure did, Roquefort. Everything's been easy this year. I finally got my list on an Excel spreadsheet.
Looks like the keto diet's working well.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I'm feeling great, but I've got to get going. Take the reindeer on a test spin. Merry Christmas, everyone. Now let's get back to the singing Christmas tree. Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Of my
I hope you enjoyed singing along with the familiar songs of Jingle All the Way. Thanks to Roquefort and Brie for leading the way and introducing us to Santa. I don't know about you, but this has been a tough year, and I hope I'm still on Santa's good list. Well, I know someone who surely is. Another wonderful guest artist who has been featured on several past productions of the Singing Christmas Tree. Her name is Caroline Keller. You saw her featured briefly in the first song, and now we want to feature her more exclusively. Caroline is an up-and-coming local country artist. Performing with her band, this is It Came Upon a Midnight Clear.
It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their hearts of gold. Peace on the earth, goodwill to men, from heaven's all gracious King. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. For lo, the days are hastening on, by prophets seen of old, when with the ever-circling years shall come the time foretold, when peace shall over all now the angels sing, and the whole world send back the song that now the angels sing.
Sleep, sleep, sleep. 'Tis the eve of our Savior's birth. The night is peaceful all around you. Close your eyes, let sleep surround you. Sleep, sleep, sleep. 'Tis the eve of our Savior's birth.
Thanks for tuning in to this Carolina Voices live stream performance. Hi, I'm Lisa Lawrence, a member of the Carolina Voices Board of Directors. I've also been singing with Carolina Voices for 25 years. I love and support the organization because it truly has enriched my life in so many ways and for such a long time. The days when I don't feel like I can take another step, let alone go to another rehearsal, when I do get there and start singing, it's all better. It's just all better. And in light of that, let's just take a moment and think about the joy of song. Life's milestones and memories are sweetened by the musical soundtrack that underscores our lives. You know, when we gather together, we sing. We sing at weddings, at birthdays, in worship, at ball games, at bedtime, at mealtime, at school, or at play. No matter the circumstance, There's a song for that. No pandemic can change that. No quarantine can separate us from this fundamental human experience we call song. True, a song is more resonant when shared in community, and so in quarantine, we've adapted. During these recent days, we've learned to sing together virtually while we long for the day when it's safe again to sing arm in arm, chorus with audience. For 66 years, Carolina Voices has brought joy to our community through song. While we're thrilled in the legacy that has brought us this far, we recognize the vital role you, our audience, play. Your encouragement and support have long brought inspiration to our craft, and we're grateful. We just hope that in some measure, our song returns the gift of your support. Typically, ticket sales provide the bulk of our Carolina Voices revenue, so turning to virtual programming has really challenged us as an organization. All of us as singers, technical producers, and the audience know that virtual performance can't replace the in-person musical experience we share in live performance. Yet, as we anticipate these circumstances continuing, the longer we remain entirely virtual, the greater our need for your support. Won't you consider giving your financial support to Carolina Voices? Your donation supports the children and adults who benefit from our programming, which seeks to enrich, educate, and unite our community through song. Your donation will bring the kind of joy that helps keep our song alive. Please go to carolinavoices.org and join me in supporting Carolina Voices today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Lisa. And another word of thanks to Gray Seal Puppets for their beautiful setting of Still, Still, Still. Their artistry seems to know no bounds. Well, we're reaching the closing moments of our program, and there's one more guest artist to introduce. Kendra Johnson has been singing with Carolina Voices for several years now. And I was thrilled when she agreed to be featured on these next two songs. The first, appropriately titled Home, comes from the Broadway show The Wiz. Those familiar with the story will recognize this from the moment Dorothy reflects upon her situation and ponders how she misses being home with all of those she loves. Recognizing so many of us have likely felt that in strong measure this year, we hope this song will provide you with comfort and inspiration. And then Kendra leads us in a rousing arrangement of Joy to the World. But first, home.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. When that makes the tall trees bend into leaning, suddenly the snowflakes that fall have a meaning, sprinkling the sea, makes it all so clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back now that I have some direction. It would sure be nice to be back home where there's love and affection. And just maybe I can convince time to slow up, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time, be my friend. still know where I'm going. I have had my mind spun around in space, and yet I watched it growing. If you're listening, God, please don't make it hard to know if we should believe the things we see. Tell us, should we run away? Should we try and stay? Or would it be better just to let things be? Living here in this brand new world might be all fantasy, but it taught me to love. So it's real to me, and I learned that we must look inside our heart to find a world full of love, like yours, like joy to the world. The Lord is come. Let earth receive her peace. Let every heart
Now, our longtime audience members know that the show always ends with Silent Night, and this year will be no different. So, stick around as the lights dim away and join your voices with ours on the final a cappella verse. We thank you again for welcoming us into your homes. For all of us here at Carolina Voices and the Singing Christmas Tree, we truly wish you a very Merry Christmas, and to all, a good night.
Wow, if that doesn't put you in the Christmas spirit, I don't know what will. Wow. Welcome and good evening to Backstage Live. I'm your host, Kathy Smith. If you've never been to the Carolina Voices homepage before and checked out our videos, well, welcome. We're glad to have you here. And if you would, take a moment, give us a like, hit subscribe, and if you would, ring the bell notification. So the next time we have a broadcast, you'll be alerted to come join us. And if you're already a subscriber, welcome back. We're so glad to have you. Well, 2020 has been, an interesting year to say the least. But we here at Carolina Voices hold true to the old axiom, the show must go on. So as we created the 66th annual Singing Christmas Tree, we knew that we'd have to bring it to you in a completely different format, online. Now, if you ask any performer, which is the most thrilling show that they'll perform in any show run, and we'll all tell you it's opening night. With pre-show jitters, frantically trying to memorize those last lines backstage before the curtain rises, and of course, that elusive note that haunts us the entire performance. Will this be the show that will actually hit it on time and in tune? Now, we may be sounding like we're actually complaining, but the truth be told, that's what makes opening night so thrilling. So to bring you the premiere of the 66th Annual Singing Christmas Tree, we've decided to bring it to you in a live stream format. I'm sure you've noticed if you're watching us here on YouTube or on Facebook Live that we've been able to chat with you throughout the show, and that's been absolutely wonderful. So in a moment, I'm going to bring on some special guests where we'll get to the chance to pull back the curtain, ask some questions, and find out just what makes the Singing Christmas Tree so wonderful. Now, with it being live, things can and will go wrong. Let's be honest, we've all seen the colossal fail of the meteorologist with his dog, who decided that that particular moment was his chance to get his 15 minutes of fame by running in front of the camera as he broadcast the weather. And some of us, well, we've had that unfortunate situation where we've lost completely our internet during a Zoom conference call. Now, we'll seek perfection, but we also recognize that, well, it's 2020 and weirdness happens. So without further ado, I'd love to bring on our guests. First of all, I'll bring up Pete Leo, who is the artistic director for Carolina Voices. Welcome, Pete.
Hey, Kathy.
So
Hello,
good.
world.
This is right. The world's watching. And Kendra Johnson, who is a unbelievable featured artist and vocalist. Kendra, so good to see you.
Hi, good seeing you.
And of course, Vanya Record, who is with Gray Seal Puppets. Our Christmas tree would not be complete without Gray Seal.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Vanya. Good to see you. And of course, our fabulous kids chorus here with Vanessa Davis. And Vanessa's a lot of things, and I'll let her explain that to you in a minute. But Vanessa, it is so wonderful to see you, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here, Kathy. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm still I don't know about you guys, but I've been sitting backstage watching this show the whole time, and I'm dancing and singing and carrying on, and I'm so much in the Christmas spirit right now. How about you guys? Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah.
Yes. It was magical. It was beautiful.
Well, that's what I want to hear. So if you guys don't mind, if you'll indulge me a little bit, we've got some questions. And of course, we're chatting with our patrons here as the show continues. And we'll bring in some of their questions. So guys, people that are watching from home, come on, bring us some good questions here. But I think what I'd like to do is just jump into a few questions if you don't mind.
Okay.
Sure.
Awesome. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump in with Pete here. So,
Sure.
Pete, you get the first question, my friend.
Oh.
Oh, it's easy. First of all,
Good.
I'd like for everybody to get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
Just how and when did you first connect with Carolina Voices and the Singing Christmas Tree?
Thanks. Kathy, if I may, I really want to just say a few thank yous right off the bat because it's
Sure.
just such a fun, exciting moment to be a part of this premiere in this way. And so thanks specifically to you for hosting this live broadcast thing. Thanks for the rest of these panel guests that have agreed to be a part of this. Certainly, I want to thank all of the production team, the cast. This has really been, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, but this has been such a collaborative experience and endeavor, and we've never tried anything like this before. So I really want to say I'm so proud of everyone that was a part of this production, and I'm with the rest of us, I think, feeling very much in the Christmas spirit for all of that. Thank you all. Well done. My journey with Caroline of Voices began in 2011, and so this really makes this year my 10th singing Christmas tree. And what's really kind of funny about that is that prior to opening night that first year, I really hadn't ever seen a singing Christmas tree. So to be connected with the tradition as a newbie was really an eye-opening experience that I will treasure. And it's been my great privilege now for 10 years to help craft the show, but most importantly to be engaging with these wonderfully talented singers and musicians and puppetry artists. Forgive me, Vanya, I don't know the correct term. Puppeteer, maybe, and so many technically gifted people. It's really been a great privilege to feed off of their energy and just be part of a really great production. I'm so happy to be here tonight and happy to be a part of continuing the tradition.
Well, definitely, Pete. Under your direction, we've had some wonderful shows. So I'm so thrilled that you're actually able to be here with us.
Thank you.
So I'm going to move over to Kendra here. So Kendra, I'm going to ask you the same question. So first of all, where did you get a voice like that?
I don't know.
But please tell us a little bit about how you joined the tree and like how you found us in the first place.
Sure. So the 60th Singing Christmas Tree was actually the first year that I participated. I joined because I actually came and saw the tree the year before. For the dress rehearsals for the Singing Christmas Tree, we oftentimes will invite area service organizations that might not be able to attend otherwise. And I worked with a group that was mentoring children that have incarcerated parents, and they were invited to attend one year. And I sat there. I loved the show. I actually saw someone that I knew from high school that I sang with then. I immediately messaged him and asked questions about it, and I joined immediately thereafter. So I've been here since.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what though, with a voice like that, it's an angel. It's an honor, my friend, to sing with you during the show. Now, of course, we can't forget about Gray Seal puppets. Yes, we have wonderful voices, but we also have some amazing puppetry. So I would love to welcome Vanya here. So tell us a little bit about how Gray Seal, and you particularly, how did you get involved with the Singing Christmas Tree? And, just kind of how things have gone for you.
Well, for Gray Seal in particular, way back in the early 80s, Caroline of Voices had approached Gray Seal Puppets about interpreting some of the songs that were going to be sung by the tree. And it was a perfect opportunity for us to demonstrate one of our core values, which is the power of puppets to visually tell a story. Because we believe that puppets are not just for kids, but that they transcend age, that they are appealing to an audience of all ages. So working with the Singing Christmas Tree allows us to not only do the funny stuff, which we love, but also interpret some more serious pieces, some more sacred pieces with puppets to add another layer of emotion to what is being sung in the music.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, there were some of the numbers, and I can't remember the name of the character that you had. He was a homeless man.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the years that we did a night theater. And that one, the first time I saw it, Charlie, that was Charlie. That brought me to tears, and it was just so artfully done. So
Thank you.
If you guys haven't seen these guys, you need to definitely check them out. But so Vanessa, let's go to you, my friend. you have a long title from co-director of the Carolina Kids Voices to angel to soloist to vocalist and mom. So tell us a little bit about how you got all those titles in your whole path to Carolina Voices.
Well, I have been very fortunate at my time at Carolina Voices, and yes, I've worn those hats and others, and it's because we're a family here at Carolina Voices, and the tree family is just amazing, as you could see during the live chat during the tree. But I've been a part of Carolina Voices for several years. I had just moved to Charlotte after I got married, and I saw an audition notice in the Charlotte Observer. They were looking for singers to participate in Carolina Voices and to participate in the Singing Christmas Tree. And I remember going to the Singing Christmas Tree as a child with my parents, and I thought that would be really, really cool experience. I had been singing with rock bands for several years, so I wasn't sure if I could make the switch over to a choral group, but I went, I tried, I got in, and I've been a part of the organization ever since. And you're right, one of my biggest accomplishments with this organization is I am co-director for Carolina Kids Voices along with CJ Michael. And it is an absolute honor and pleasure working with the kids during the summer camps and then putting together our tree choir each year for the Singing Christmas Tree for Kids. And they're just wonderful. I mean, tonight, I loved them. I just couldn't stop smiling when they were performing.
As I watch the kids singing, and of course the dancing, I love the kids when they're doing their thing, because I'm as you guys saw, I can't sit still. But you know, one of the things that I think a lot of folks don't understand is being an angel of the Singing Christmas Tree is the highest honor that we can give our choristers.
Yes.
And so we have, and if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, if you see one of our shows, maybe next year's show, I'm hoping you'll attend that. You'll notice we have an angel on the top of the tree, a woman, and then we will have a gentleman somewhere on the tree with a Santa Claus hat. He's our Saint Nick. So Vanessa, can you tell us a little about like how and what how do we choose a Saint Nick and an angel, and kind of the importance of that to our organization?
The angel at the top of the tree and the Saint Nick are so important to our organization. They are voted on by former angels, we call them fallen angels, or former Saint Nicks. And it goes to a woman or a man in our organization that it puts in their love and their time and their energy into the organization, whether they're volunteering in the office, volunteering backstage, they're helping with production, they're helping with things outside of the productions, with our community service outreach. It's people who really love the organization, and it is seen by our singers and our angels and our Saint Nicks. And so it's a secret little vote. We go over in the corner at different times, and nobody knows who it's going to be until about a month before the tree. It's announced, and it's a huge honor. And their family members get to come, and they just get to be a part of the whole experience of being recognized at the tree. And trust me, the angel at the top of the tree, especially when we have gospel numbers, you better not be prone to being seasick. It's an amazing experience to be at the top of the tree. The tree is swaying and it's moving, and you can feel the energy. It is just fabulous. And for the Saint Nicks, they're at different places, but they wear their Santa hat during the shows, and they're both recognized for their accomplishments and the love that they give Carolina Voices. It's great.
It's awesome, and they inspire us.
Yes, they do.
And some of my folks that I've had, my guests that have come to the show, they've always said, well, when do you get on top of the tree? And I was like, oh, well, that takes a while, because there's a lot that you have to do to become an angel.
Yeah, you never know when your name is going to be called that night. And it really is just an honor. But people don't do it just to become the angel of St. Nick. They do it because they love the organization and they love our Carolina Voices family.
Yeah, it truly is a family.
Yes.
So I tell you what, Vanessa, if you don't mind, I'm going to stick with you for the second question.
Okay.
That I have. So obviously this year has been completely different for all of us.
Oh,
and just a little bit. And we've had to adjust. And and I'm kind of curious, as far as your adjustments and what you've had to do, what have you done to accommodate this virtual production?
Well, there was some good and bad with the virtual production. I have done a few virtual things this year, and I've learned a lot. But when we started the tree, it was 100% full in. I will tell you, I did not have to drive to any of the rehearsals or fight traffic uptown Charlotte, and I thought that was amazing. I live a little ways from uptown Charlotte, and so trying not to have to worry about that traffic was fabulous. So that is a definite positive to having a virtual tree. As the director for Carolina Kids Voices, that was a little nervous. We worked with the children for 4 rehearsals on Zoom for 2 weeks, getting them ready for their featured number and then for the verse in the opening number. And we couldn't all sing together. In Zoom, as most people know by now, there is a delay, so you can't sing together. And so that was really hard, not being able to hear them, hear their voices all together as one. And then the dancing, I could see them in small little Zoom squares, but trying to look at each of them individually and give them that attention that we normally give to each individual child. It was very difficult. One thing that was really difficult for CJ and myself was trying to relay, we want you to smile and we want your energy and we want a fun atmosphere when you're performing. And luckily, I just can't tell you how fortunate we are for the parents of Carolina Kids Voices. They were amazing. Many of them sat in on the rehearsals and watched. They saw what we needed. And when it came time for the children to do their videos, and they really had to work hard for those videos, the parents were there to relay our message of that fun atmosphere and energy and the excitement. And I didn't know if it was going to be there or not. And I was very nervous. I should have had confidence in them, and I really do. But I saw it when I saw them performing on the virtual tree, and wow, they hit it out of the park. And the parents, you're a huge part of that. So that was really hard. That's something that we normally do in person, one-on-one with our kids at the theater and on stage, and having to rely on the virtual world. It was very nervous. I was very nervous about it. It was very nerve-wracking, but they did it. They were great.
Well, you know, the thing that I missed, one of the things I missed most about the Singing Christmas Tree this year is not being able to watch you direct the kids' voices. Because we get to see, as you know, ornaments, as we call ourselves on the tree, we have a special perspective of what goes on in the pit. Mm-hmm. And so Vanessa has a certain style to her directing of the Carolina Kids Voices, and it is worth its weight in gold just to see that.
Well, I have seen myself I have been recorded by our singers up in the tree, and I see it on Facebook, and I'm like, really? Did I really look that crazy? But I always tell the children, you just watch me. You watch me, and you go with me, and you smile at me, I'm going to smile back, and you have the energy I have, and we're going to get through this together. Whether you're nervous, whether you're excited, whether we make a mistake, whether we do it perfectly, we're going to be in it together. And they do. They always do. Yep. They are just fabulous. So, and I have a ball.
You can tell. It's absolutely a labor of love, so to speak.
It is, very much so.
Yeah. Well, you know, Vanya, what about you? I mean, puppetry is not an easy thing to do virtually. So, you know, how are you making adjustments this year to handle a virtual production?
That's a good question. Well, our normal process is that Pete will come to us and he will suggest pieces of music or dialogue transitions somewhere where he feels like we are needed in the performance. And then we will come back to him with our ideas on how we want to present it. But this year, we also had to consider what would translate best from a stage performance to an on-camera performance. So some of the things that we did were we shortened the dialogue, the Roquefort and Brie dialogue. We actually shortened it and made it a little faster than we would normally do for on stage because it works better on camera that way. And also there's a phrase that we use that is economy of movement. That's a phrase that we use in the puppetry world. And basically what that means is that puppetry is movement, right? But in order for the puppet to communicate clearly to the audience what its intention is, we have to be very intentional about how we make the puppet move. That's where the economy comes in. So with the woman in white, for instance, for Still, 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 we found that we really had to focus on the economy of her movements in order for her performance to be more intimate for the screen. We had to make her movements smaller and more deliberate. Whew. My screen went crazy.
You know, like we said, this is 2020 where this is happening.
Exactly.
But thanks for that. Yeah, because it really is a huge transition to the world, and those puppets really do communicate the message, and they really bring a lot of more definition to our songs as we bring them out. So it's, oh my gosh, I love having you guys around.
Thank you. We love doing it.
Now, Kendra, as our vocalist extraordinaire over here, with your solos and everything, how are you? What kind of adjustments did you have to make to go virtual?
So I think for me, one of the things that I enjoy most about singing is being in the room with other voices and hearing instrumentation. I react always very strongly to that. And virtually, you don't have that. You know, you don't have a person beside you singing a note. You can't hear the blend of the room. You don't have the director giving you cues to make adjustments. So it becomes a lot more clinical. And as a person who grew up just singing in church based off of emotion, that is hard. You know, that is definitely a hard thing to do. But I think what this year has taught me, in not just this, but in lots of things, is that things don't always look like how you want them to, but you just keep going and you try. And if it doesn't work the first time, just do it again. Like videos, you can just delete it and re-record it. It's totally fine. No one will know that you sang it terribly the first time if you just delete it. So always keep trying to do new things. And by doing this virtually, it does give us the opportunity to make sure that people who might not have been able to attend the show before, you know, we have relatives that are out of town or coworkers or friends who are not local, but because we gave this effort and tried to do this, they were able to experience the show this year. So it was definitely worth it, but I definitely think I have a few extra gray hairs.
I think we all do, actually. But, you know, I was actually thinking tonight before the show started was he's kind of a choral composer legend. You know, that John Rutter, he had said the essence of choir is when all voices sing as one. Yeah. And we're able to like bring to the world a glimpse of what perfect harmony would be, you know, and it truly is something. I found my musicality kind of changed, and it really has a lot of power and a lot of impact when we move together as one. And it doesn't mean that we're all going to sing the same note at the same time. It could be 4 different or 8 different notes at the same time, or rhythms or what have you. But to know that when I'm singing the exact same thing as the person next to me, it's very powerful as a musician.
Absolutely.
And that was hard to lose that this year. So yeah, it was hard. But you did amazing. You just knocked it out of the park.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, of course, I'm going to bring Pete in here. And as our director, I'm sure you had some things to adjust to as well.
Yeah, well, sure. You know, Vanessa and Kendra have really alluded well to the primary challenge, which is just that there's no way to be in the room together, and technology doesn't allow us to do that yet. There are some pieces of technology out there that allow a smaller room to hear each other, a smaller gathering rather, maybe 12 singers or something might be able to hear each other in remote settings at the same time. But if you're going to try to pull together, 60 to 100 singers, it's just not possible. But the whole programming concept that Vanya was talking about was trying to decide, okay, what songs really can communicate well in a virtual way, and trying to put together a show that we thought we could do. What's really amazing to me though is that the singers were able to pull together all this music. We began rehearsals in September, and every Tuesday night just working through trying to use Zoom to learn music in a really unique way, and then really putting a lot of faith, well-earned faith, in these singers to record their own voices and videos, and then submit those in, and and then this tremendous work with new partners in our editors to be able to put all of this together in such a wonderfully creative and well crafted product. So, yeah, there's a long list of things that were challenges in this because most everything we tried to do was new.
This is true. And, for one, I missed watching Pete tell me when to come in and tell me when to sing louder. So that was definitely a challenge. And we definitely missed that. But, let's look at something a little more positive. I mean, and granted, it's really easy to look at things kind of negative, but let's talk about some favorite moments or surprises, some things that, you maybe hadn't anticipated, but because it was virtual, that you were able to experience it in this show.
Well, I think the thing, and I was kind of beginning to go there actually, but the one thing, if I were to claim one thing that really surprised me and just impressed me, was the singers, without being able to be connected, it was their great desire to find a way through this technology to connect with one another. Singers are social beings. We know this. And for them to endure the challenges of the technology and find ways to use it to connect so that the social aspect wasn't lost was tremendous to me. Really impressive.
That's great. Yeah, because we were able to be the big, powerful voice, the big, powerful sound that we're used to, which I think all of us were very surprised when we actually heard the recordings, just singing one voice, and all of a sudden we come together with this huge sound.
Amazing, isn't it?
It really was. Really was. Well, Vanessa, let's ask you some questions here. Now, how about you, as far as like your big surprises and your big takeaways this time around?
I know one surprise for me. I was a little nervous about making all of the videos because the technology and doing it is new to me. But I will have to say the videos were challenging. They were frustrating at times, but I loved it. I absolutely loved making them and focusing on them and working on them each week. And when I would hit the submit button at the end of the week and submit my videos for particular songs, it felt like an accomplishment. And I was so pleased that I was doing that and so proud to be a part of the project. One of my favorite moments in the tree tonight, seeing the kids. Like I said, I was so nervous about how they were going to do. And I was just so pleased with them and seeing them and their energy again. It almost made me cry. It was just beautiful. But I will have to say my favorite moment of the whole tree, and many of the singers who have sang on the tree for years and many of our audience members at our live shows will know at the very beginning of the show, the music starts playing and you're excited, you're anticipating what it's going to be when the curtains open. There's that moment of, you hear the audience just gasp. They see the tree for the first time. They see the lights. They hear that big, strong sound. They see the sets. It is a beautiful moment that the audience gives the singers, and the singers can feel it. And I felt that same gasp tonight when the curtains opened, and it was beautiful. And I had not expected that in a virtual realm. And it really touched my heart. And I'm sure that there are many singers who performed tonight. I'm sure they felt the same way.
Well, Vanessa, I'm trying to not cry too much because when you said that, as far as when the curtain came back and that
Yes.
moment, it really touches you. And
It does. It is the gift that every audience member gives the singers every single year. It's when that curtain opens, we can hear you, and it is beautiful. And I felt it tonight.
I really did too. And it kind of caught me by surprise as well, because I thought, I've seen this a couple of times, in preparing for the live stream. And I thought, it's just another show. And no, it's not. This is the Singing Christmas Tree, which is an amazing show altogether. So I definitely agree. Thanks for that, Vanessa.
Oh, yes.
So Vanya, let's chat with you for a sec. As far as, what your big surprises were, let's see. Actually, Vanya, I think your mic is muted. That's all good.
I mean, there. Hey,
guys, we can't fake this. This really is live. I'm not kidding. But no, let's talk about some surprises. Some things that are your favorite moments that may have happened during this production, and it was because it was a virtual show.
Well, for us, one of the things that we do at Gray Seal Puppets is a lot of on-camera work for television and film. So making that transition was very natural for us. But the challenge that we had was that we were kind of working in a vacuum. Usually with the tree, we're on stage, we have the tree there, the musicians, everything. We can see how all the parts to come together and make a whole. But we were kind of just doing our own thing, and we didn't really know what everybody else was going to be doing, or how what we were doing was going to work with what everybody else was doing. So really the surprise and my favorite moment was seeing the finished product, seeing the tree, how everything just came together beautifully, I thought. And really, like Vanessa said, the essence of the tree was there. It felt like being there at the tree.
It really did. That was still, I don't really have a lot of words for that, just because I'm probably just so gobsmacked, just so like, wow, that really did happen. But that's great.
I'm having a little bit of difficulty hearing you, but
okay.
If you're asking me a question, I don't know what it is.
We're all good. That's awesome. That's awesome. We'll toss it to Kendra. So Kendra, let's chat with you for a second. As far as like your big surprises, like anything that happened with you that a surprise or a favorite moment in the show.
Yeah, so it's funny, like the one thing that Vanessa mentioned about like when we're on stage and the curtain opens and the crowd gasps, I swear that is worth the entire rehearsal cycle every year for the tree. But the other thing that I always look forward to as a singer is Silent Night at the end of every show. We know that's how the show is going to end. And it really is a special moment for us as a group. It definitely brings a sort of sense of community while we're on the tree. I mean, there are a lot of tears sometimes as that song happens. And I wasn't sure how that was going to translate to virtual, but seeing it was beautiful. I mean, literally beautiful. I did want to cry, but I have way too much makeup on my face, and I did not want you guys to see me like that. But it was literally just gorgeous. And it had the same sentiment that it has when we're all standing up there on the tree together. I didn't know if it would work like that, but it did, and it was amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it might be unanimous on that whole, that the biggest moment of surprise for us was the fact that the tree came to life for us.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to bring everybody in here and let's take a look here. So our friends here who are chatting with us, do you guys have any questions for us that we can ask the panelists? Because this is a perfect opportunity for that. Oh, I've got one right here. So, and I'm going to open it up. So anybody who's ready to jump on it, it's awesome. Alex has the question of how did we sync the music to make it sound like everyone's voice was coming from the same place? Is that going to be, I think that might be a Pete question. And Pete, actually, I think you've got your mic muted. There we go. We got Pete now.
I'll take a stab at that. Yeah, thank you.
All right, go for it, Pete.
I guess we plan ahead and provide recordings that allow the singers to sing along with a recording, and in so doing, the editors find a way to link all of those audio tracks together. That's the primary way that we've gone about it, is to utilize some kind of what we call reference tracks. So each singer at home sings along with the track, and then hopefully they all line up at the end.
I like the way you said hopefully and started laughing. That was encouraging, Pete. Thanks a bunch.
It's a lot of work for the editors to put it together, because sometimes they don't line up and they've got their work cut out for them to make it happen. So thank you, Ramiz and Tim.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. And those guys definitely were, worked hard for us in some very difficult situations. Let's see, do we have any other chat questions? Oh, Laura. Okay, Laura says she wants to let her dad in Chapel Hill know how to see this great production. Well, Laura, just tell your dad to go to www.sct2020.com, and that will bring you right here. So this production, actually, this broadcast that you're seeing right now is going to remain on the internet. So he'll be able to see that whenever it's available for him. So whenever it's ready for him, whenever he wants to see it, it'll be waiting for him. Thank you very much. There we go. There's our URL. So it'll bring you right here so you can take a look at it. All right. So do we have any other questions here? Let's see. Okay. Well, it looks like we've got a lot of people saying hello, which is awesome. So, hello, everyone. Well, I guess I've
Hello.
got hello out there. Well, actually, a couple of our singers, they've got families and friends and things of that sort that are overseas. So we've got folks that are actually, watching our show in different parts of the world. So I know there's some folks in Great Britain. I believe I've got some friends down in New Zealand that are watching. So good day, y'all. If I can mash together a bunch of, dialects there. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up. And it's just been an amazing show. And like I just mentioned to Laura here and her dad, that this show is going to remain on the internet. Now that we've done this broadcast, it can remain in perpetuity, so to speak. So this is your big moment. This is your moment to tell the folks that you know and love, a Merry Christmas. So let's start with you, Pete. Who is it that you'd like to say Merry Christmas to in this program?
Oh, I want to say Merry Christmas to all of you, for sure, and to the whole rest of the world. But I'll take this moment to say a special thank you, a Merry Christmas, excuse me. Merry Christmas to my mom. This has been an unusual year for her and my family, and I just love you so very much. And although we can't be together, Merry Christmas from my heart and from all of us.
Oh, that is so sweet, Pete. Well, speaking of which, my mother is watching. She happens to be Carolina Voice's #1 fan, and if anyone likes to differ with her, she will tell you. She will put you in her place that she is the #1 fan of Carolina Voices. So, hi, Mom. I've never been able to do that before, and that just feels so good.
Doesn't it?
It does, really. Merry Christmas, Mom. Love you. Well, Vanessa, how about you? Who would you like to say Merry Christmas to?
Well, I have so many family and friends who are out there watching, and I have a huge family on both sides of my family, and I am not going to be able to see them this year, and so I want to say Merry Christmas to all of them, and that I love you guys very much. But I especially want to say Merry Christmas to my mom and dad, Van and Shirley Crook. They live in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and they are the ones who introduced me to the tree many years ago when I was a little girl and brought me to the tree, and the red velvet dresses, the long curls. They were there every year, taking myself and many youth members of our church, and they are still with us and to the tree every year. They come every year to watch me. They've watched my children who have both performed at the tree in Carolina Kids Voices. And this tree it's a part of 3 generations of my family, and it all started with Mom and Dad. So I love you guys. Merry Christmas.
That's so sweet. Well, Vanya, how about you? Who would you like to wish a Merry Christmas to?
Well, I'll be in big trouble if I don't wish a Merry Christmas to my family, my husband Chris and my daughters Sophie and Elizabeth, who have patiently waited for me to come home for many years while I'm doing the Singing Christmas Tree. But I also want to say Merry Christmas to all the folks who make the Singing Christmas Tree come to life every year. We so look forward to being with all of you every year, from the singers to the musicians to the Backstage crew, who are fantastic, the dancers, everybody who makes up this show. It's kind of sad not to get to be with everybody this year. So I definitely want to say Merry Christmas to all of you. We love you. We can't wait to be back in person with everybody, hopefully very soon. Very soon.
Well, I have to tell you, when this whole thing is over with, I have lots of hugs to make up for. So that's the one thing I look forward to during Tree Week, is just to be a kid again and to hug everybody I see. But Kendra, what about you? You get the final Merry Christmas.
Oh.
Yes.
So first, I want to say Merry Christmas to my niece, Everly. She's 2 years old and she's already a singer. So I fully expect she will be part of the tree in the coming future. Nice. So first, her Merry Christmas. But also, I just wanted to be mindful that holidays can be really difficult for a lot of people. And this year in general has been extra difficult for everyone. So if anyone's not feeling 100% in the Christmas spirit, if anyone's felt like this year has been rough, just keep trying, do what you can to keep yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally safe. And I do hope that you do have a Merry Christmas and obviously a Happy New Year.
Wow. That's so well spoken. Thank you so much, Kendra. And we definitely have to be mindful of that. Yeah. So everyone, I just want to take this moment and just thank you for being here tonight on Backstage Live. And really, for everything that you do, you bring the magic, which brings the Singing Christmas Tree to life. So thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Kathy.
you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh, hold on a second. Virtual world there. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you as well. Well, this year has been very difficult for everyone. There are folks that are facing challenges that they never thought they would in this lifetime, while there are others that are missing ones that they love so dearly. We wish that by bringing you the Singing Christmas Tree, full of joy and holiday cheer, that we've lifted your spirits, filled your heart, and restored your hope in a brighter future. Because we believe for all we need is a little more Christmas right this very minute. Thank you and good night.